Hey everybody, welcome to Premium Time with John Darr. It's April 6th, and yes, we are in a Ford Model T, a 1924-ish.
This is our first on-location shoot.
The first on-location shoot, and it is April 6th, which it is National Sorry Charlie Day. So when he said, hey, I want to drive, I said,
Sorry,
nope.
Charlie.
Sorry, Charlie.
That's so original. Hey, can you insure one of these?
I can.
You sure?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
sure.
everybody needs to buy one. But anyway, today we're out here at San Francisco, Tech City with my buddy Mitch Glazer, and he's going to tell you all about the awesome stuff going on here at Tech City. So stay tuned. We're glad to have you. Welcome. Hey everybody, we're here at San Francisco, Tech City, and we are going to get a tour from my man, Mitch Glazer.
I know, I can't wait to see it.
So stay tuned. We're gonna go inside and meet him and show you around all the awesome stuff at San Francisco, Tech City.
Come on, let's go see him.
Well.
There he is.
Again. How are you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good to see you. Come on in. How you doing, John?
I'm good.
Come on.
Good to see you.
Welcome
All right.
to San Francisco, Tech City.
Feels good.
Oh, it feels way better in here.
It is a hot one.
Hot already.
So, I know that you've been here before, and I don't think you have.
I don't think I have.
But anyways, this is a museum of entrepreneurship. So what we do here is, our office is also embedded in here. But it's not the Antique Roadshow with all these old Americana items. What we actually do is we teach people the difference between entrepreneurship and innovation. And so innovation is the creation of a product, an app, a service, and then entrepreneurship is taking that product or service to market. So we have had over 1,000 high schoolers through here, of course, pre-COVID. And we take them around and we showcase all the different kinds of innovations and then how certain people took those to the marketplace, being the entrepreneur. So for instance, Henry Ford, didn't invent the automobile, but what he was able to do was take that and make it so cost effective and affordable that every average American family could buy one. And so this is a 1924 as an example.
I wonder how many of those are still around.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I'm sure there is a number.
Oh, sure.
What's amazing is always, one of the trick questions is, was there over 30,000 of them made, more or less? And most people say less. Matter of fact, about 99% of people say less than 30,000. And the reality is there were over 15 million.
Wow.
And so, yeah, a lot of people didn't know that the Model T. And so,
wow.
This was a 1924, and quite honestly, it is probably a 99.9% chance that the family who actually bought this was traveling either by horse or by foot prior to owning this. And so that wasn't even 100 years ago. So it's that entrepreneurship, right, that enabled it to go to the market and become affordable for most every family. And of course, there were lots and lots of automobile companies out there trying to do the same thing. And Henry Ford, as an entrepreneur, was able to make that happen. So we go around and we have everything from automation, we have, of course, data, we have an original 1984 Macintosh computer, and then we talk about even the sewing machine, which was a really cool invention that actually kind of broke the ceiling for female entrepreneurs because they could make clothing and garments and all kinds of blankets and those kinds of things. So it is a cool piece as well. And then all the way around, of course, we have telecommunications with an old phone booth. We talk about that and the evolution of telecommunications. And then over in the corner, we have a old hand crank farm-all tractor. And so, anyways, we talk about the evolution of agriculture in the American fabric, right? And so how far that has come. It's funny because I have holdings up in Nebraska, and I've got a couple, there's a couple families up there that have over 5,000 acres. And they can plant 1,000 acres a day with the implements that they have now, 24 hours a day, but they can plant 1,000 acres. And so, you know, that evolution of invention and then entrepreneurship. And so that's what we have here, and really, really cool. We've got a lot of people have come through, learned a lot about those differences, and that you don't have to be an inventor, you can actually be an entrepreneur. So anyways, I'll take you over here to the table. And I'll show you the layout. We can sit around and chat for a few minutes if you have any specific questions. So I know John has seen a little bit of this, but this has been added on to a little bit because we've actually had 4 transactions to get to the 82 acres. And so over here is 441, and you probably came in here and parked over in this area. And so phase 1 is completely done and completely filled up. I'm going to show you some of the tenants that are in here today. It's pretty cool, actually very cool. Fracture is in all of building B. And then we have a myriad of other companies that have gone into building A, about a dozen companies that are emerging, you know, as they grow and take their products to market as well. So cafe out front up here has been approved as well. And then I'm going to show you the preschool that's also been built. So this preschool is licensed for 123 kids. They'll probably max out at about 100. They're doing really, really well. And they take 6-week-old to 5 years old. And they have education in each one of the age groups, so that does really well. Building space is 270,000 square feet of tech space is going to be built.
Wow.
Yep. And then 252 homes that will wrap around Tech City. And so it becomes this really cool vibe of live, work, play. We have a community center here with a swimming pool, tennis, volleyball, and basketball courts. The county's building a new fire station here. They have a temporary one out here on 441. And then there's going to be a little kids park here, which is going to have a fire station theme. So it'll be really interactive, fun little stuff, kind of tying into the fact that the neighbor is a fire station. Walking and jogging trails, there's a couple of these areas of green space, and so this one's going to be capped with a 6-foot asphalt top for joggers, and then we're going to have 13 workout stations around it. So it's going to have like dip bars and pull-up bars and those kinds of different things. So again, kind of in this activity core, the active activity core is over here, and then the more passive is this side. So you have these beautiful walking trails around here, and this would be about a mile around. This one's a half a mile, and then we've built one gazebo here that doesn't have its top on yet, but there's a picnic table out there, and we're building 2 more. There's gonna be one here and then one over here as well. Really cool, we're building a community center. Most people know about the Bowman Center on Lake Alice, that beautiful piece of architecture used for weddings to funerals and everything in between. So we're going to be building a similar, it won't look like it. We'll have actually a design contest, but it's going to be a small, intimate space for things like weddings and funerals and retreats and meeting space and that kind of thing as well. So it's really, when you get out there, it's absolutely beautiful. And so we want to take advantage of that as an asset. And then we have this dock going out into this bird watching area as well, and we'll have some bat houses and that kind of thing out there as well. Throughout the center, we have, as you saw out front, the solar trees. The buildings that we're in today are all solar fed by energy derived from solar. We have 1 meter out here on the 82 acres. So during the day, this solar is working and it feeds all of the businesses and homes that are out here and the preschool and so forth. And then when our overpower will go out into the grid system, and then during the evening when the solar's actually not being produced, we'll actually take our energy back in and it will operate the rest of the center. So it's a one of a kind in regards to being on site producing for ourselves, which is very, very cool. We're going to end up with about 6 to 7 megawatts of power out here, which is about a $15 million investment. So these two buildings are technically under construction. We have some corner markers out there right now. There's some dirt that's been brought in to actually level the foundations that are going to be moved over about the middle of April, so about a week out. And there will be construction actually on site. Now there's been construction over here going on, but we actually already have leases over here as well. And so it's very, very cool. In fact, we have not publicly announced it. I'll let you know a little secret.
Oh, this is breaking
Scoop
news.
breaking.
I got the scoop.
For the first time ever.
Breaking
the
news.
Darr Shakow show. What's your show? Premium time. Premium time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to remember that.
Premium time. Yes.
Yeah, especially
Premium
since we're
time.
breaking
It's
it.
usually
We're
every
breaking the
6
news.
months to the year. It's premium time.
That's right.
Well, with me being on the show, it's not gonna be premium.
Oh.
But, anyways, especially when I screwed up your name, right? So, we can't tell you who it is, but I will share with you that we actually signed a brewery out here as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who
So-
doesn't love beer?
Really?
Yeah.
And will there be any outdoor venue to play music?
I wonder about that.
I wonder.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
A little-
I know of a
like
local band, by the
little
way.
green space out here in
Yeah.
front.
That would be.
I know of a local band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case you decide to
Live
put
music,
that
beer,
Yeah.
in. Sure. I'm gonna go with Beer Garden.
beer garden.
Actually.
Yeah.
So that is
Who's
exciting.
renting? Is that the closest to the beer? That's
Yeah.
you can-
How do we get that house?
Yeah, the house, yeah.
What's the time? Do you have a time schedule or a
So
time
it's,
frame?
it's really economics 101.
Okay.
So we're building as rapidly as leases are done and as people are, taking space.
Sure.
We are under contract to build out these 74 housing units. So that was phase 3 actually. So this is phase 1, phase 2, and then phase 3 is here. So we're already, we've only been out here a year and a half or so. And we're already into phase 3.
Awesome.
So it's very very rapid. To answer your question, I would envision that this would be done in within the next 5 years.
Wow.
Something like that. So
That's much faster than I anticipated.
yeah. Well, one of the really cool things that enables us to do this is my name, Mitch Glazer, but my business partner is Rich Blazer. And so, which is kind of funny, we're both from Gainesville, but us together have, collaborated on making this happen. And so that has kind of accelerated the ability for us to produce. And so that's kind of a dynamic that a lot of developments don't have. And so with that, we're able to really, really keep the process going very fast.
That's great.
And candidly, since we started construction 2 years ago, there's not been a day that their dust has not been flying, either from construction of earthwork or interior space build outs, all kinds of stuff. We have, Nova Approach Spine just opened up out here. They have their new medical device company. Very, very cool. So they have a new device that actually goes through the belly button. And so the surgery period is about half as long, a lot safer. The surgeons love it. It also offers, somewhat of a different dynamic in that the disc is not just flat, it actually has a lift, because if you actually have your spine completely straight, you would be bent over forward because your spine has a curvature to it. So there's a lot of dynamics they have in their patented technology, and they're really, really doing well, and they were going through FDA approval right now. And then I want to take you down to what we call the launch pad. Launch pad is almost 8,000 square feet of a variety of sizes of offices, 16 different variety size rooms. We already have 9 leases, and we've only been open for about 7 weeks. So very small opportunities for small space, but not a big cost. So you share a boardroom, and you share bathrooms, and you share a coffee bar and all these things. and you can get internet and water, sewer, electric, rent, everything for as little as $350 a month.
You know, that is a really interesting idea, given everything that's happened over the course of the last 15 months or 12 months now with COVID. It's interesting to have some space that can be used that way, right? Where it's a share space almost. That's a great idea.
I don't know if she's going to be there today, but there's one of our tenants, and she came in here literally plowing through the front door and said, I cannot stay at home one more day.
Right. Not
one more day. And so she signed the lease on the spot and literally went and moved her stuff in.
Amazing.
So, you know, I think you're right. You know, with post-COVID, I think there's going to be interesting opportunities for people to work at home, but there's also going to be that, hey, I need to have some independent space.
Sure.
And so we'll see how that all morphs and changes, you know, with the dynamics of the economy and so forth. Next to that is a company called Chapters Health Services, nationwide firm. We're just amazingly thrilled to be able to get them. Really thrilled. They're a dynamite company, and so they do home health services. They also do in-home hospice care. And so those, and this is their regional office from the state line, you know, down to basically northern Marion County. And then, you know, the surrounding areas. So a pretty big swath. And so I will tell you that when their head of real estate came here, he walked out here and he told me later, he was like, I'm going to tell you a secret. And I was like, what's that? And he said, there were like nine places to visit for space. And this was the most furthest away because he lives in Sarasota. And he said, I came here, I got in my car, and I drove home. He said it was over. He goes, I knew exactly where I wanted to go.
Slam dunk.
So that was, he's had a real estate, so he sees a lot of product. And then last one is Next Gen. And Next Gen is a biologics company, and they're doing skin graft technology for burn patients all over the world. So just unbelievable opportunities of people, and it's very...
Plus, what a cool thing to be able to see some cutting edge technology sort of budding and trying to, you know, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they're doing really, really well.
Yeah, one of the things that we like to talk about on the show, I know Charlie and I have a passion, is trying to help in any way we can local businesses. You know, developments like this for me and him have been just, you know, we're so passionate about trying to help them and get the word out, you know, as to what you guys are doing and what the plans look like going forward, and what, you know, what we can do and you can do to help, you know, entrepreneurship in general. So it's just really cool to see a development like this that takes shape. And
I think one of the key elements is, and the reason that Rich and I got involved in the beginning, and I know both of you know Rich and I, but you know, this is something that's completely passion driven, completely. I mean, we don't have to do this, but it was a piece of the pie that was missing in our ecosystem, right? Meaning our region, meaning our economic region. And you had people like Fracture that were looking at leaving our region to go somewhere else because, you know, they have semis that roll in here in the afternoon. It's crazy, the FedEx and the UPS trucks, and I mean they're putting out thousands of products per day. And they're also receiving that product, right? If you're putting it out, you're also receiving it. So it's a constant flow, and really Fracture is a logistics company. And so for that logistics to work, you have to have the right infrastructure. And so there are key elements to that: affordability, right? And then fluidity of product flow, being in semis and those kinds of things. And then just the whole sustainability effort that we do that feeds into exactly what they're about. So if you ever go on a tour of theirs, you'll find out they're almost a zero waste company. So all the product that comes in the back door gets cycled through and gets used in the end product. And so, and they do it without any bubble wrap, no shrink wrap, no popcorn, no fillers, and they're shipping glass all over the world. And so it's remarkable, and it fits, you know, we have composting out here, and we have future community gardens out here, and we have, you know, we're very in touch with, you know, nature. We're immersed in nature.
Well, it's all really based on a sustainable design,
That's
obviously,
correct.
which I think is super important for commercial space of the future, right?
And so, you know, the reality is this is a very low density. If you see how much green is on here, you realize even though these big bulky, you know, buildings here, The reality is the rest of it is very, very almost untouched, if you will, right? Or done in a respectful way that we're working with the elements that are out here. So we're raving fans of, you know, the Innovation District in Gainesville. So we talked about innovation earlier. See the Innovation District and Innovation Hub, the different elements that are going on with that, the University of Florida's efforts and so forth with startups and tech transfer and patents. You know, University of Florida is one of the top patent universities, producing, you know, hundreds of patents a year. I think second behind like MIT. And so for those products then to be invented, then they need somebody to take the entrepreneurship side to take it to market. Sure. So that's where we play a role. But we're raving fans of what Gainesville's doing and that ecosystem that fits for a lot of those companies. A lot of those companies aren't going to come here, as an example. And we're completely okay with that. We just want to offer something to those that doesn't fit. In the same way with like Celebration Point, right? So Celebration has a lot of tech company kind of components and elements, and it has live and work and then play elements to it as well. And so they're doing really well, but it's more of a higher density, certainly Class A, beautiful, gorgeous space, but it's not the low density, right? Yeah. And so, and then one other thing, I mean, there were several things I failed to mention. For instance, all of the bedrooms that come with our units, so will come with a bicycle. So if you get like a 2-bedroom home, then you're going to get a couple bicycles with that as well. And so there will be over 600 bicycles in Tech City's campus, and we're working with the city of Alachua to do a pedestrian flyover here. And that pedestrian flyover, and we've got a model over there if we want to see it, but that pedestrian flyover then connects to 7,200 acres, okay, of pristine, beautiful hammock. And it has 30 miles of bike trails.
Yeah, some of the best bike trails, I think, in the state.
Right, correct. And so, you know, there's weekends that the hammock will have as many as 600 bicycles out there, even at the headway, not just mentioning 600 here. But
so they're going to be able to ride over.
They'll be able to alternately over the highway with a pedestrian flyover.
How exciting! That's cool.
Yeah, and then connect to the hammock. In fact, the park ranger's been here. He came over and was like, "What's going on?" and absolutely loved it and picked his little house out. Everybody picks their house, you know.
Yes.
And but anyways, he said they're going to actually open a public access right here as well.
Oh,
so not just the one that's back there behind Progress Park. But there's a lot of little pieces like that, like the bicycles. And
a lot of thought going into making this.
When are they? You might have said this. When are they starting the home
construction?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've moved a lot of resources into these next 2 buildings. Once we get that up and going, then we'll re-engage this. So the reality is these will probably be done, first of the year, spring of next year.
Gotcha.
You know, these first 23 have been contracted to build. So depending on how fast this dirt moves over, then we can re-engage.
There's an inventory issue in case you haven't noticed in Gainesville, right. So you good opportunity.
Yeah, behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes into undergrounding all the fire lines, right, for fire hydrants, and then you have your water lines and your sewer lines and your street lights and all the underground utilities and underground power and transformers and those kinds of things. All the different water meters, that have to be set. And there's a lot more that goes to it than what you see in a house. Mm-hmm. So the houses can go up pretty quick, but that infrastructure is what really takes some time. And so we're already working on that. There's already silt fence. We've already grubbed the area. And so it's getting ready to lay the pipe for where the stormwater would go and those kinds of things.
So I have a question. Since the pandemic, have you seen demand for this type of situation ramp up a little bit because people, they're work from home, but they go crazy working from home?
So I'll tell you my view. So we have, under Emory Group, there's about 8 different companies. So we have IT and roofing, and we have a apparel company, Logo Cake, and so we have a myriad of different companies, and so we're all faced that. And I actually own a hotel as well. So the hotel is the one that really, there was nothing you could really do to what I'm about to tell you. The rest of it and we ate Miapa lunch today. Miapa came through the same pandemic, but they learned how to pivot, right? In fact, they're expanding, right? So they went out and said, hey, you know, if you can't come and sit in the diner, then let me bring it to the curb. If we can't bring it to the curb, let me bring it to your house. You know, if I can't bring it to the house, then let me helicopter it in. I'm being funny, but I mean, they were entrepreneurs. They found a way. They said, you still have to eat, and if you want our product, we will get it to you.
Yeah.
They're actually a good case in point for what I'm talking about. So Emory Group is a basket full of companies. We also have Glazer Realty under that. And I will tell you that while all these deals weren't here, Rich and I own about, well, we're under construction now with 60. So I don't know if you count that or not, 360,000 or 420,000 square feet of space. And so that's a lot. It's a lot to be in the commercial arena and have a pandemic hit you. So Emory Group companies, and we do some sizable deals. I mean, and we do small stuff too, but you know, we did a big deal up in Warner Robins, 44,000 square feet. It's a $43 million deal with the U.S. Air Force. And so that we did a high-tech laboratory. You know, it's like, if you do the math, it's like $1,000 a foot that they budgeted for that project. We did a deal with Lockheed Martin, and we've done deals with, you know, Ingersoll Rand and so forth. So we do some sizable companies, and we do a lot of mom and pops too. Historically, and Emory Group Companies really started in 1923 with my grandfather, Mitchell Emory, who was named after. We do about 6 deals a year, okay? That's on average, about 6 deals a year. Last year in 2020, we did 18 deals.
Wow.
Yeah. And we just, and I'm just gonna put it out there, we pushed in the clutch, we shifted gears, and we just said, what is our competition doing, right? You know, a lot of people were complaining, a lot of people were not getting busy, they weren't finding solutions, and every single day we were talking to each other, saying, what can we do to accelerate and actually, you know, not just rise out of the ashes, bounce out of the ashes. So here we are coming out of the pandemic and we're under construction. We've already signed leases in these 2 buildings as an example during a pandemic, right? So that's the kind of mentality that you have to put around no matter what business you're in. I'm not going to you know, dance around that there are some businesses, and I have one, like I said, the hotel, that was extremely hard. Everybody got paid. We stayed open. We never shut down. We kept everything safe and, you know, everything going. But we really took it on the chin. So there are those businesses that you can't overcome those dynamics. And quite honestly, even dynamics that the government regulations put on you. So my little storyline isn't for every sector, but if you think about most sectors, you're able to, you know, stay engaged at some point. And it's customer service, it's customer outreach, it's just all kinds of different things that allow that to happen. Now we had some, you know, candidly, we had several leases that, I mean, I had one lady who sent me her keys in the mail, and she was like, I have no money, I have nothing, you can come after me if you want.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful, but we got busy, and you know what we did? We released the space to somebody else. So it's just what you have to do.
Sure.
And so much like life, which each one of us comes from a different set of circumstances, a different beginning. You were talking about your daughter, you know, you're like, she has to work while she goes to school because you want her to have that investment in herself and the experience and the realities of understanding what it is to earn $1 and those kinds of things. I would imagine that's what she's doing it for.
Yep.
But every one of us are dealt a hand. And what you have to do is play it. You know, play your hand.
Sure.
Say, this is what I've been dealt. Let me make the best situation out of it possible. And that's really what we've done with Emory Group, and that's what we've done at Tech City. And so it has been a lot of hard work. I mean, it certainly wasn't the easiest year at all. So,
Gotcha.
Good stuff, man.
you want to take a look at?
Yeah, let's. You want to walk around? Yeah, let's walk around and look
we
at
can
some stuff.
certainly show you the launch pad, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, so we're gonna take a look at that.
Perfect. All right, stay tuned. We're going to show you around Tech City. Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. I want to thank Mitch Glazer from
Thanks,
San
Mitch.
Velasco,
Appreciate
Tech
it, buddy.
City for showing us around, telling us about all the things that they have working out here.
Such a great day. Really impressive, man. Really, thank you so much for walking us around and
absolutely.
showing us what's going on. Super exciting what's going on here.
Our first episode on location, so hopefully
Without makeup.
Without makeup.
Why am I so short?
Yeah.
I'm
We could do
yeah,
that.
you guys nailed that a little bit.
If you liked it, comment, and remember, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, go to Facebook, like anything that you see, or we'll even take a thumbs down. It's
And LinkedIn.
and LinkedIn. And I want to thank the Fiesta Media for producing this on location. So
Man.
have a great one. Take care.